Hello everyone. Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment saying where you're from and when you watched. That way, YouTube will continue to show you stories like this. Now, let's get started. I sat down on the floor, holding my head tightly, breathing heavily. The words on the phone screen were still glowing brightly. The truth was right where you started. I tried to think, my mind was spinning. The starting place was at this apartment, where I received the first call, or the abandoned park, where the game began to take me further. I looked around the familiar room, but now cold as a tomb. The lights flickered a few times and then went out, leaving behind the eerie blue light from the phone. The creepy feeling seeped into every vein, making my skin crawl. I knew I had to go back to the first place the phone rang in the middle of the night, the small bedroom in this very apartment. I walked into the room, each step heavy, the wooden floor creaking under my feet like a whale. The room was dark. The bed where I had sat to receive the first call was still there. I sat down, placing the phone on my knees. As I feared, it rang again, the shrill sound tearing the silence apart. I picked up the phone with a trembling voice. The familiar hoarse voice immediately rang out. "You have returned, but do you dare to face the truth?" I was silent, unable to speak. The voice continued, this time interspersed with a soft laugh. "It all started here, where you live with a ghost without knowing." E.T. was startled, turning around. In the mirror hanging on the wall, I was not alone in my reflection. Behind me, a blurry figure, long hair falling down, a burned face, white eyes. I turned around, but behind me was only emptiness. I screamed, my heart pounding. The mirror reflected again, and this time the figure was standing right next to me, lips moving, whispering something I could not hear clearly. The phone vibrated, the screen lit up with the words, "You are living with a trapped soul." I threw the phone on the floor in panic, but it kept ringing. I ran outside, but the door wouldn't open, as if locked from the outside. I was trapped in my own apartment. I knocked on the door, shouting for Daniel, but to no avail. The knocking came from inside the room, right behind me. I turned around and saw the wardrobe shaking slightly, as if someone was trying to open the door from the inside. I backed away, my heart almost jumping out of my chest. The wardrobe burst open, a cold breath of air blew out, and from the darkness, a scorched hand reached out, scratching at the floor. I screamed, falling backwards, but the phone vibrated violently. A weak female voice rang out, "Help me, he's been locking me here for a long time." I shivered, feeling my blood run cold. I approached the wardrobe, but a hoarse male voice immediately interrupted, growling, "If you open it, you'll die with it." I stood between the two streams of sound, my head spinning, my heart about to burst. Cold sweat ran down my face. I trembled as I reached out to touch the door of the closet. At that moment, the light in the room suddenly turned on and then off. The whole room was plunged into darkness. I heard footsteps slowly approaching from inside the closet, each step like a hammer hitting my heart. I trembled, pulled my hand back, and slowly retreated. The phone lit up again. This time the screen displayed two overlapping lines of text. "Save me or leave everything." I screamed, not knowing which to choose. While I was panicking, a cold wind blew. The wall mirror shook violently. A horrifying scene appeared on the mirror. I saw myself standing in front of this very apartment, but from the outside and inside the window there was another figure. The face was exactly like mine, but the eyes were pitch black, without light. I was stunned, understanding that there was something that had lived with me in this apartment from the beginning. The hoarse voice rang out again, this time not only through the phone but throughout the room. You are the replacement, and this soul will never leave you. I held my head, screaming madly, but the sound echoed everywhere, making me want to go crazy as suddenly the closet door opened completely, and from inside, a white figure rushed out. It was the girl with long, scorched hair. She fell to her knees, sobbing, her voice trembling. "Please free me." Right behind her, a tall black figure stepped out, eyes glowing red, face distorted. He placed his charred hand on the girl's shoulder, pulling her into the darkness. I screamed loudly, rushing to hold her back, but the invisible pulling force was so strong that it almost tore my arm off. The phone on the floor lit up, displaying the words, "The game can only end with sacrifice." I trembled, realizing that I would have to make a final choice. End of part 7. Please follow the next episode to see what choice John will have to make when facing the horrifying truth right in his own apartment.